G'day, Mr. Fitz here, hope you're going well. This short little video tutorial, I'm going to show you the process using CAD to build our little mould design. So here you can see on the screen, this is an exploded view of our product that we're going to build, and we're going to teach you how to build this in all of its layers. So they're all coloured to help you build it. So we got part 1, 2, 3 and 4, and we're going to build those in order. In fact, this is missing one. This number 4 should be here as well, so the top plate is missing. Not to worry. Okay, let's start with the base plate. So with any new file, we always start by going File, New, to build our new part. Now yours will look a little bit different to mine, but you're just going to go New Part. Let this one load up. Now, as I've talked about in class, these are our reference planes in the middle of our page. If you don't see these straight away on your template, just right click in your feature tree and you can hide them or show them with this little eyeball. I like to have them visible when I start, so I've got somewhere to work. Now what we're going to do is start with a sketch. This is the same process we use for any model. Sketch, and then at the bottom or here it says choose a plane in which to sketch on. So I'm going to sketch on the top plane. Now I want to try to utilize these planes and the symmetry of our parts in this design. So what I'm going to do is ask you all to use the center rectangle. There's a few options here to build a rectangle. We're going to use the center rectangle. Click on this one. Now to start our rectangle, I need to click at the origin once. Now if I drag my mouse out, it should build my rectangle like so. And I'm going to click again to build it. You'll see that it is got these little diagonal lines and everything should be symmetrical about the center. Now if I just jump back quickly to my drawing, I actually have a second sheet which you have in your reference, and all of these plates that we're going to build are all going to be within the specification here. So the maximum I can build my mold is 75 by 75 millimeters. You can build anything inside that. So if you think about or calculate the area, we're working on the area of that. So if you want to change it to be narrower or longer, this is our dimensions. So I'm going to make mine 50 by 75, a little bit narrower for the design I'm going to do. So if I go back to my part here with my good old phone ringing in the background. Now with that sketch, next thing I must do is put in a dimension. So 75 is going to be the vertical, and then I'm going to do 50 across here. Here we go, 50 by 75. So the process for a dimension is that you can do it in a few ways. If you click on a line once, you can then drag out your dimension and click again to place it. Another way you can move dimensions, and just a little tip there to get out of a feature, press escape on your keyboard. You can see that takes you out. Another way is to press on a point. So you can do a dimension from a point to a point. So you click, and then that will allow you to do a dimension and place that. Beauty. Now that's dimension, you notice this all becomes black. That means it is constrained. Now what we can do is extrude our part. So if I click over here and go extrude, you can see it goes back to a 3D view, and this will now allow me to push up this feature up. Now I'm going to go 6 millimeters. That's what my drawing tells me to do, and click on the tick, and there we go. There is my part. Fantastic. Now I'm going to leave my planes here for now, because my next step on my design is I need to add in my holes. So if I jump to my holes here, you can see the diameter is 5. In fact, I actually need to make them a little bit bigger. I'm going to make them 5.2 because we're going to use a 5mm bolt. So I should fix that on the drawing for you. But I need four of these in the corners, and they're both measured 7.5 millimeters off the corner. So going back to my design here, if I now go, oops, sorry, I'm going to start with a sketch again. So go sketch, click sketch. Now this time I'm going to sketch on the top of my solid. You can see my little icon jumps right in there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw one circle. So click on the circle tool, click somewhere on the face. Now it's good to place this roughly where you think it's going to go and draw it out. Don't worry about the size for now. Click to place it. Now we're going to come back in and add some dimensions. You notice that it's currently blue. Blue is telling me that it's not constrained. So if I just jump out of my dimension, what I can do, if I click in the center, I can move my circle around. I can change the diameter if I click on the outside of the circle. And that will go wherever I want, provided that it's not dimensioned. So now I want to add my dimensions. Click on Smart Dimension, click on the outside of the circle. I can use that just to set the diameter, place it outside, and this is going to be 5.2 diameter. Now I need a reference dimension from an edge to the center and that edge to the center. So if I start by clicking on this edge, then clicking on the center of my circle, you see it picks up a dimension that way. Place that up here and change this to 7.5 millimeters. And from the top, same process, click on that line, click on the center, place this out here somewhere, and go 7.5 again. You'll notice that this is now black, which means it's fully constrained. Beautiful. Now this particular hole, I'm going to cut this through my part. So if I go to Features, Extrude Cut, so this is for cutting out features, whereas before when you built the solid you use an extrude to make it a solid. Under Extrude Cut, what I can now do is cut away back through the center. Now if I keep that under blind, this will allow me to go a certain distance, 6 mil. Now what's more clever here is I can change this to through all by that little drop down, and that will go through the whole part. So it doesn't matter how thick I make my part. If I change this from 6 mil to 3 mil or 6 to 10, it will update and always cut through. So this is a good one to use. Okay, click on the tick on the click, and there we go, there's our nice little hole. Now, because our parts are symmetrical, what I can do is use a clever little tool to mirror this across the other side. So we're going to use this feature twice. Now what I can do is click on this little drop down. So under linear pattern I can go to mirror. Now the way the mirror tool works is fairly simple. Starts here by choosing a face or a plane, which is going to be the center of my mirror. So think about the center of where this is going to go. I want to start by putting it over this side, so I click on my center plane here. Then I can choose the features I want to mirror. So the feature that I want to get is the hole that I've just included. So if I zoom in and make sure I click on the hole, you can now zoom out and you can see that it previews the hole. That's what I want, so I can go tick to confirm that. Now it gets a little bit trickier. I'm going to repeat that same process. So go mirror. Now this time I'm going to mirror it about this center plane on this side of my part. So if I click on this center plane, and then now I need to choose two features. So that hole to start with and this mirror. And you'll see that it will mirror those across. Click on the tick to approve that one. Now, most important thing that we didn't do at the very start of this, which we should get in the habit of doing, is to save our file as soon as we open it. So make sure you save this. Put this onto your H drive. I'm going to put it in a folder in here. Now, really important that you create a folder on your H drive and call this Skills Task 2, because we're going to do something clever in a second with our save tool. So save it. This is going to be called part 1, which is the base of our mold. Save that one. Alright, we can always go back in and check against our drawing. So part 1 is the base plate. A little bit different in dimensions because we picked a size smaller than the maximum. And also remember that's 5.2. I can always check my parts once I've created it. The beautiful thing about CAD is I can go back in and I can edit. So if I click on my first feature here, you can see the dimensions. I can click on the screen and change that live. So if I change it from 50 to 60, if I change my mind, and then click this up here is the rebuild icon. You can update it. So if I want to go back, I can press the back icon as well. This hole, for example, I click on the hole itself, I can go in and change the sketch. Another way to edit something is in the feature tree using my right mouse button. I could click right mouse button and go edit sketch or edit feature, and that can take me either back into the sketch. You can see I'm in sketch mode here. I can close out of that, or I could just go straight into the extrude. Cool, that's your first part. Make sure it's saved, and then on to our next video to show you the next steps.